Hi again, everyone. Today we're going to do Tangerine Math. And some of you may remember us doing this at the club last year, and it's a tasty, fun math lesson. So I have some beautiful tangerines that I got straight from the farm, picked just yesterday. But before we start, let's do some predictions. Let's make some guesses. Do you think a tangerine will float or sink when I put it in this pitcher of water? Let's take a minute and think about it. Float or sink? Everybody have their answer? Let's find out. It floats. Why does it float? It floats because there's air between the skin and the tangerine itself. Now here's my next question. Do you think if I peeled it, let's see if we get this peel off nice and quick here. Should have picked one of the puffy ones. If I peel this tangerine, do you think it's going to sink or float when we put it in the water again? Is it going to still float or is it going to sink? Let's see. I'm going to predict that now that we took the skin off and we don't have the air pocket in between, that it's going to sink. And it does. So when it has the peel on it, it floats in the water. When we've peeled it and it doesn't have the peel on it, it sinks. Okay, so now let's do our tangerine math. We're going to make some more predictions. Do you think each of these tangerines has the same number of segments or pieces or slices? Do you think they have the same number or a different number? Usually each one of us would be peeling one of these. So today I'm going to peel two, and we're going to compare the two and see if they're the same or different. So let's make our guesses. Guess if they're going to have the same number of pieces or segments or a different number. So here's our first one. We'll peel another. I'm going to peel a nice puffy one that peels fast. This one's a little drier. Okay, and it fell apart. Do you think these have the same number of pieces or a different number of pieces? So for the segments, or the pieces, the same number in both or a different number in both? That's the first question I'm going to find out. And the next one I'm going to ask you is, do you think we have an odd number of pieces or an even number of pieces in each of the tangerines? Let's see. So our first one we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we have 10 in the first one, and so it's even. Let's see how many we have in the second one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We have 11 tangerine segments in the second one. So do we have the same number or a different number? We have a different. So they're not all of them are the same. They're all a little different. And if you remember when we did it last time, I think somebody even had 20 segments in theirs. So now for our math. Let's do our math. Pick what you take your tangerine, and we're going to put half of our tangerine on this side and half of our tangerine on this side. So do you remember how many segments I had? 6, 7, 8, 9, 11. Let's do this one. This one's got 10, so it's a little easier. So 10. We have 10 segments here. And if I want to split them equally and put half on this side and half on this side, how many pieces am I going to put on this side? How many pieces am I going to put on that side? Let's see if we go like this. So half of my tangerine segments for this tangerine are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces, 5 segments are half of my tangerine. Now if I were to eat all these, and I'm not going to eat them on camera this time, I'm going to set them aside. We have 5 tangerine segments left. And this time we want to find out, you know what, let's do it different since I don't have all of you with me. So we have 5 on this half and 5 on this half. Now if I wanted to know quarters, I'm going to draw another line on my plate. I'll move these out of the way for a second. If I wanted to know how many quarters we had, and how many segments were in each quarter of my tangerine, let's see now. I'm going to eat the 2 extras. So we can go like this. So, does it divide equally by 4? It doesn't divide equally by 4. Let's eat 2 of them. And in our quarters now, how many are in each quarter? There's 2 segments in each quarter. Do you think, we've done half, we've done a quarter, let's do another fraction. So that we have 1 in each segment. What fraction do you think this is going to be when we get down to have just 1 in each one? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So to get to 1 tangerine segment in each, we brought it down to an 1/8, but we also cheated a little bit and we ate 2. So again, let's talk about, do you think all the tangerines have the same number of pieces in them? They're all different. And some are odd numbers, some are even numbers. How do we know if it's odd or even? Like this one had 11 pieces, right? So let me move this one. So when it was even, we could divide it equally. We had enough to put in all of them. But if we have an odd number, this didn't erase as well as I hoped it would. If we have an odd number, and we want to go in half, does it work to make it equal? 1 in each. It doesn't work to make an even number because it's odd. So when we try and cut it in half, we'll always have an extra piece when we have an odd number of segments. But you know what the best part about this math lesson is? When it's all over, you can eat your work. Thank you for doing Tangerine Math with me.